Welcome back to Dark Souls. Last time, we defeated Gravelord Nito, the first of the dead. We met a bunch of people, we put down a corrupt cleric, and we healed an ailing soul from their anguish. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'll be fine. Anyway, before we start, I want to mention I picked up this. The Ring of Fog. Normally, the way you get this ring is by getting enough kills in the Forest Hunter Covenant. And then Alvina eventually gives you the Ring of Fog. Reduces presence to prevent discovery. Those who befriend Alvina are given this mysterious ring. It resembles a pearl with its robust, pure white fog. The ring camouflages its wearer's presence, helping to prevent detection. And that's true. Makes you transparent. Thing is, not all enemies are easily fooled by this. A lot of them are not, because they could still hear you. Anyway, if you have no way to access online play, like I do, the only way to get it is to trade one of these. A Skull Lantern. I got two. I got one from the Necromancer and one in the Tomb of the Giants. I traded my extra for the Ring of Fog, just to have it. It's nice. And I also got my Claymore back out. We're gonna use it again. I'd like to speak with the Dark Moon Nidus. We haven't seen her in a while.
You have made it back. Very well. Go ahead. You may rest here. Even an undead requires repose.
Let's talk to her. Do you have anything interesting to say to us?
Have you heard of Seath The Scaleless? In legend, he turned against the ancient dragons. He became Lord Gwyn's confidant, was granted dukedom, and was allowed to pursue his research. At the Regal archives, he immersed himself in research on scales of immortality. The one thing that he did not have. But his very research drove him mad. The archives became a dungeon, a place for sinister experiments. Now, nobody dares even approach the Duke's forbidden archives. It looms over this land high atop the mountain. But I should warn against even an approach.
Well, Seath The Scaleless. He betrayed his own all the way back in the Age of Ancients. He helped Gwyn and the other lords destroy the dragons. Without him, they wouldn't know the dragon's weakness, lightning. They wouldn't know it without Seath giving it away. So for that, he became Gwyn's confidant. And he was granted dukedom. He is a duke. Didn't the giant blacksmith ask us a long time ago to get some kind of shiny thing from the duke to make his weapons shiny? The duke is Seath, a scaleless dragon. So, and he was allowed to pursue his research on the scales of immortality. He didn't have those, and that's why he turned on the ancient dragons, because he was jealous that he was gonna die one day because he didn't have any scales. And there it is. The Duke's Archives. Or, by its more common name, the Regal Archives. Not everyone calls it the Duke's Archives because it didn't always belong to the Duke, Seath. In fact, this building was created before Seath even showed up. It belonged to someone else. And we're going to talk about that person eventually. But his research on scales drove Seath mad, and now the archives are a dungeon for sinister experiments. That large building that we saw all around Lordran is the Regal archives. This is where Logan wants to go. This is what Logan wants to see. And that's where our next target is. The next lord we are going for is Seath the Scaleless. Let's go. I've made a terrible mistake, haven't I? Nope. I'm perfectly fine. Let's go. We're going to take that bastard down. The brilliant light is gone. And almost immediately once we go in, we're greeted by a familiar sight. That's a fang boar. We saw it all the way back in the Undead Parish! Poison it. Unlike the last one, its butt flap is covered up so you cannot backstab it. So don't even think about it. It doesn't really care about us though. So we could just guide it here and take it down from there. Doesn't stand a chance. Unfortunately, if you just use the two hands, it'll just sting. And it's dead. I think I'm just going to put on Covetous Gold Serpent Ring. We have this strange blue-looking hallway. This is one of the first new areas we've seen in a while. For the most part, we were just traversing areas that we've been through before. Now we have to go for this one. Yeah, that should do it. Now we just have to wait for him to slowly heal over. Right, get your blooming ass over here. If I remember correctly, you cannot get through here. Get over here. Fight! Oh, no. Heal up. I could get really screwed here. Get over here. Did it just jump? I did not know it could jump. Dead. And our reward for beating it is a Fang Boar helm. Let's see here. Severed head of the fully armored Fang Boar, taken by the one who killed it as proof of his victory, just as the gods once did with the head of the ancient dragon. Can be worn on the head as a surprisingly sound piece of protective gear. Do you hear that? I hear whispers. There are dark things at work in these archives. Just as the gods beheaded the dragons and mounted them on the walls, as we saw in that room in the cathedral, Ornstein's special room. Before we continue, there's a bonfire here, in case you need it. I need it. If I remember correctly, I do not need poison mist anymore. I'll just put fire orb back on. We have these stands with a bunch of books. Seath's research. And now, we're gonna pull this lever and go up. We're inside, so who knows just how high we're going. And here is another new enemy. This is a new enemy. The Undead Crystal Soldier. The archives became a place for dangerous experiments. And these are these experiments. Do not take these guys lightly. They have very high defenses. Luckily, our fire can take them down. They also have a very good chance of dropping crystal straight swords. Thing is, they break, so they're not worth it. There's another guy right there. Why did Seath turn these guys in all crystally? We don't know. Yet. That guy right there is dangerous. He has a longbow. Ow. That was my fault. That ought to do it. Word of advice, don't get shot by these archers. They hurt a lot. I'm just gonna heal up. You know what? I have an idea. That should do it. Got him out of the picture. There's another channeler over there. We haven't seen one of those since the depths, really. Before we take him down, before we put down that clown. Have some soldiers we gotta take care of. Cause you go in there without a plan, you're as good as dead. Die. And here we have a crystal golem. We saw these in the Darkwood Basin. Maybe they also come from these the Regal archives. It's possible. Let's kill it. Dead. And when we kill it, we get a broken pendant. We're not gonna look at that broken pendant yet. We'll get it later. As for you, we're ignoring you. Welcome to the Duke's Archives. We're gonna hide behind these bookcases. Backstab him. We're gonna go for this guy right here before he attacks us. Backstab. Take down these archers, because they, again, do a ridiculous amount of damage. Backstab. Just that guy over there now. Dead. Now there's only one target left. Or I thought there was, but someone's shooting at me. That's weird. We have bookcases, tables. Back. Teleporting. They're sorcerers. And he is dead. These channelers are very strange. I'm guessing they work for Seath. We also have a chest right on that bookcase. I'm going to debate on whether or not I'm going to pick it up. Before we go, I'd like to... Yes, perfect. I'm going to take a screenshot. There. Here we have a staircase right up there. This library is massive. So many books. This is all the gods' knowledge. Seath couldn't have lived there first. This must have belonged to someone else, but we don't know who. Before you go, you are going to be tricked. Just know that in advance, and backstab. Nope, behind. We get some twinkling titanite. And we can see the entire world from down here. There's another area over here, not part of the main archives tower. This whole look right outside the archives is really nice. I really like these more subdued colors. And I really like the Duke's Archives. It's really blue. stand a chance. Here we have a chest. Don't be fooled. Before we go near that chest, I'd like to equip these. Blitz Talismans. They may block Estus recovery, but you know what else they do? They do this. They alert you to mimics. And then you can pillage their treasure. And then we're gonna give them a nice little tap. And we're gonna throw another one. And he just falls back asleep. It's kinda cute. And there it is. We get a Symbol of Avarice. This is a rare drop from the Mimics. Now that we have it, we don't really need to keep you alive. Go away. Burn in hell. Okay, we don't need these anymore. Let's see. The Symbol of Avarice. Monster head resembling a treasure chest. Once an ancient god, it is said that this is the symbol of shame imposed on a long-lost clan, exiled for the sin of avarice. Wearing this slightly raises soul absorption and item discovery, but also affects its wearer with the curse of the branded. Resembling once an ancient god. So, these mimics are some kind of undead creature. Otherwise they wouldn't be affected by the undead hunter charms. There's some kind of clan of undead that was punished for their greed by giving them treasure chest heads. And those treasure chest heads slowly killing them. It's interesting, and I want to show you what it looks like. Isn't that adorable? It gives you better item discovery and more souls collected. So it gives you the effect of the Covetous Gold and the Covetous Silver Serpent Ring at the same time. That's nice. I'd like to equip my Hornet Ring, and we're going to go even higher up. We're going to the top of the archives. No one can see us now. And here we have walls made of pure crystal. Or at least crystal along the walls. It's an enemy. This is the Crystal General. It's unknown what he was doing, but he seems to be covered in crystal like all the others. He has a crystal greatsword and a crystal shield. He can parry with this shield, even though it's not a parryable shield. Goodbye. And that's that. He didn't really put up much of a fight. And that was the point. We'll talk about this Crystal General. because there's a bit more to him than it seems. Was he guarding something? Let's keep following this path and find out. As we call up, we find a crystal lizard. Let's kill it. We get some twinkling titanite and blue titanite chunks. There's crystal everywhere in here. A fog gate. I can only guess what that means. Seath The Scaleless might be behind that door. Whatever you do, if you have any kind of souls or humanity on you, equip a ring of sacrifice. Let's go in. We died. With the Ring of Sacrifice, we get to keep all our souls. We tried to attack Seath, but to no avail. We could not touch him. He seems to be immortal. He must have succeeded. Now, we're trapped. With a bonfire here, to make sure we can't kill ourselves and get out. You cannot warp out. There is no way out. Let's just rest for now. Next time on Dark Souls, we spend the rest of we just return to another prison to await the end of the world. See you then.